What is up, everybody? This is Supreme Penguin here, and today I'm going to be doing an honest review of No Time to Die. Now, before I get into this, I just want to warn you guys that there will be a bunch of spoilers in this, and I recommend you see the movie for yourself because, trust me, there's plenty of stuff that will kind of catch you off guard, and you kind of need to see them for yourself too. So, anyways, let's get into the review. So, my honest opinion of it is honestly kind of conflicted. But like basically my baseline opinion is it's good, but it's got flaws. And like as in there's like quite a few flaws in the movie. But let's get to the positives first. Like the first 30 minutes of the movie are absolutely great. It's got some really fun action scenes and some pretty great storyline elements. The scene where he's visiting Vesper's grave honestly kind of got me a little bit. It was a pretty emotional scene. And then it turns out it was a plot by Spectre, and the grave literally exploded, and we kind of felt like the confusion Bond was feeling. Which leads into a pretty great action sequence, and then like Bond says goodbye to Madeline Swan, which he genuinely believes she betrayed him because Spectre came up with a lie, made him think that she betrayed him, which wasn't the case, and then we got to the credit sequence. Then now Bond's in Jamaica all by himself, and he meets up with his replacement 007, which he has no idea who she is at first. And then they have kind of a bit of a bitter rivalry for a little bit. Then they go to Cuba. There's like an action scene in Cuba, which is genuinely great. It's like at a Spectre party, like Blofeld's birthday, which kind of sounds cheesy on paper, and like kind of get to see the real villain's scheme. So yeah, that was like the first 30 minutes. Then Felix gets killed off, and I don't really know how to think of it. Some people are pissed. Some people think it was a good way to end the character, which thankfully the guy who killed him, which I really hated even before he turned on Bond and Felix. He was just a really annoying guy. He was like a teacher's pet, which honestly, me and my friend were kind of making fun of him even before he turned on the two. Which later on, like I think an hour later, he gets killed off in like a way kind of a reference to For Your Eyes Only, which thought that was really cool. I also noticed a lot of references to On Her Majesty's Secret Service. They say the phrase "we have all the time in the world" a lot. And you even hear bits and pieces of like the main theme from the movie and the score for No Time to Die, which I thought was a really cool touch. Especially because I just watched On Her Majesty's Secret Service for the first time, like the other night before I went to go see No Time to Die, which honestly I thought it was really cool that they're referencing it. And now let's get to the really controversial scene, the end. Basically, Bond gets killed off, and many fans are genuinely pissed off. Many fans think that was a good way to end the character. Now, obviously, it's not it for Bond. They're probably going to hire another actor. It's just it for Daniel Craig's Bond, which I personally like. That's probably the best way they handled an actor's last movie, because usually like the actor's last movie, it's usually their worst performance, and like they just don't hire the actor anymore because his final movie is so bad. But it's not the case for this one. They had like a planned story for it. They kind of like made it a reason why it was his last movie. It wasn't just like, oh no, nobody knows what happened to him, so they hired another guy. Now, in retrospect, the way they kind of writ Bond's death was really flawed. Like, it's definitely they could have handled it a little bit better, but like it seemed a bit unnecessary, like the way they just kind of threw it in there. In all honesty, but it's not that big of a deal. Some fans, on the other hand, are just like, no, how dare you? You can't do that. You can't do something different with a plot. You have to have the exact same movie every time, or else this is automatically the worst Bond movie ever. Yeah, that's kind of a lot of the other angry reviews in a nutshell. I mean, I was slightly bothered by it, but like honestly, I thought it was like probably the best way they could have handled it. And it was a lot better than the ending to Spectre, where he just like drove off in his DB5. Which I mean, it's not all right. Would have a happy ending, which I don't know. Then again, I don't really know how I felt about that ending. Also, Bond has a daughter now, and honestly, they wrote it in pretty well too. Like, at first, Madeline's like saying that it's not his which kind of is a lot more like, obviously it is his kid, but it's a lot more like symbolic, like how he wasn't there to father her. And another topic of debate is Blofeld's death. Yes, it was a bit underwhelming, but I personally thought it was satisfying. Like the way he was just taunting Bond and how he was saying that Madeline was actually innocent and how he broke her heart. That honestly, I was honest, and my blood was honestly starting to get pumping when he was like kind of saying that to Bond, and I honestly it was pretty satisfying seeing Bond strangle the shit out of him. And now let's talk about the villain. Probably one of the film's weaker spots. I think he had a pretty good backstory, but like he wasn't really like written in the best. Like how he's just some random guy that like showed up and like how he apparently was there the whole time. Like I don't think it's like the best villain to like end in like the Craig era. Like I mean, I'll be honest, he's a lot better than a lot of past villains, but I think he's just on like on the more mediocre side. He's memorable because of his appearance, but like he's intimidating, but I don't know. It's just he wasn't really written the best way. Like he's kind of lackluster. But then again, the villain scheme and the villain isn't really like the main focus of the movie. It's kind of like On Her Majesty's Secret Service, where like the villain scheme in that movie wasn't the main focus. Instead, it was more like Bond's personal life. And it's just like that in this movie, which I kind of like how it's seen as more important. And of course, Bond has some great moments in this. Like the scene where he's just kind of pissing off M kind of got some laughs out of me. And of course, we have all the time in the world in the credits, which I quite liked. Some fans didn't, which I don't know why they didn't like it. I liked it. Now, overall, I think the movie was pretty good, but I've got some like notes for it. Like it's had a few writing flaws, but like the said flaws are kind of outweighed by the good parts of the movie. So, anyways, I give the movie a good 7.5 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 because it's entertaining. I didn't get bored at all watching it, despite the fact that it's nearly 3 hours, probably one of the longest running Bond movie. It's fun. Like the action scenes are great. It's got a compelling story, but just a few flaws and nitpicks here and there that I didn't even notice my first viewing. I'll probably go back and watch it again just to like get a better like opinion on it, but I quite like it right now at the moment. I just gotta wait for it to settle in on my rankings. Might do a ranking video soon, but anyways, it's nice talking to you guys. I liked doing the review. Might do more movie reviews later on, but anyways, see you guys later. Goodbye.